morning, Don.
Good morning, Dan the Man. Nice to see you again. You did a wonderful job the other night before the Amherst Republican Party Committee, accepting the nomination after winning the primary. And I think your presentation was so impressive because you pinpointed the problems in the town of Amherst and you also came up with solutions. And I think it went over very well with the people who saw it.
Thanks, Don. You know, it was, we're going to be rolling out the positions. It's going to be coming out. So you're going to be able to see, you'll be able to see exactly what we think and where we're going with it. It was a good night.
It was a great night.
Yeah, 75 people were there. I was stunned that they had that many people. But what was really good is that people were engaged. And they started to really feel like, you've said this before, there's a groundswell. People are talking about it.
There's an undercurrent, no doubt about it. People are fed up with the way things are going in this town for the last few years, and it's time for a change, a refreshing change, and a change for improving the quality of life for all the people of Amherst.
And it's been good. I'm at 8,600 homes now, and I'll tell you that I'm speaking to all parties, blanks, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives. I'm speaking to everybody, and everybody just is ready for a change. You know, they know that we need to do something different, and I've had some really good successes because some people who are Democrats are like, we're voting for you. We want to change. We need to get beyond where we are today. And what's interesting too is some of the topics we're going to talk about today, you're going to see how things have just transpired that don't make a lot of sense.
And not for the good of the town.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And when you slap the residents with 11.4% tax increase, you're going to get their attention, and people don't like that.
Well, and look, I think this is important to note. In my presentation the other night, real simple, 10-5-0, 10% cut in spending and expenses, 5% reduction in taxes immediately, and 0% spending on all unnecessary things. So for us, that's it, real simple. And people ask how we're going to do it, and we're going to do it very simply. We're going to have a centralized purchasing. We're going to have audits of every department. We're going to look at all of the exempt employees that were added. And we're going to save more than 10%, but I'm being conservative.
Sure.
And remember, for us, it's more about the fact that these have just not been done. And the opposition can't say that they are because I spoke to the finance department, so I know they haven't been done. So you can't come back and say, I'm going to do it now. You can't do that. We really have a good plan. It's solid, and it's based on business principles. And that's what we have to instill. That's what we have to do. And people understand that.
I think you were raising questions the other night and telling the people who were there that this is the solution to the problem that no one has thought of. I just want to mention that when you see how Westwood was in the developer's hands for all those years, they paid 2.7, the town turns around, pays 7.7 to the developers. They didn't lift a finger. They made a lot of money. And there was no public discussion of what to do with that. And you were proactive. You bring in the Jack Nicklaus Company and say, hey, do we have a diamond in the rough here? What's the best use of this property?
Well, they're not. But again, even to that point, and we've talked about this in another podcast, you are not doing your due diligence. Let's just outline what you're supposed to be doing as a town official or any official. Your job is to the residents first and foremost. Okay, so let's just take the idea that we have 171 acres. We first have to see if we can make this a tax-based commodity for us. Have to. That's our first thing. Mark Poloncarz told me he always talked to all these people. He didn't talk to anybody, okay? Or he's not coming out with who he did. I talked to 2 PE firms, and they were like, we're very interested. The point of this is, if we find that nobody wants to do this, okay, the next step is we should take it. We should do it. Do not tell me that by putting a golf course right next to our golf course, it's not going to have an adverse effect. It is. And we're going to give this away for $1. We need to do this the right way. I don't know what they're afraid of. It's because it's an election year, Don. This is why this is all happening. They're rushing to judgment. They want to get this thing done, and they want people just to accept it, and that's it. Well, I'm not going for that. My job is my job, and we're going to talk about that today. We might as well talk about this because this morning I was at the AIDA,
Amherst Industrial Development Agency.
Yes, and today there was a meeting about Bliss Construction has a development that's already been approved by the town, and it's between Ayers and Maple. It's a very big development. They've went through, this has been a few years now. Well, I saw the notice come up, and I submitted a press release with regard to this, because I've got some questions. Number one, are the developers meeting their obligations if they've got tax breaks before? Number two, there was a line item in this application that $250,000 was going to be spent on building a bathroom at Westwood or Willowdale. Thirdly, Sean Lavin has received major contributions from Paul Bliss most recently. So did Sean Lavin recuse himself from these discussions?
No.
I'm sure he didn't. So the point is, I've got questions that need to be answered. So I went to the meeting today. You would love this. I walked into my first IDA meeting. I'm thinking I'm sitting there. It was very informal, very nice. And I got up and I asked 3 simple questions. Has Bliss Development or Bliss Construction met their obligations with other projects that they have? And I was assured that they were. They said, yes, they have. They're up to date. They had the employees that they were supposed to. They did all this stuff. I says, okay, great. Next question is, and the attorney was there, Sean Hopkins, and I asked him, I said, so you're telling me that they're not going to do this unless they get this tax abatement? He says they will not and cannot do it because they need this money. Now, Bliss is going to be putting in $10 million. Okay. The last question was, when did they ask, who and when did they ask you about this $250,000 for this building at Willowdale or Westwood? And the first answer was, well, we've been talking about this for a year.
Really?
I says, oh, so let me get this straight. So we just found this out three months ago. And you've been talking about this a year? And then Sean corrected himself. No, they just asked us about Willowdale in the last 2 months. I says, okay. And Sean says, we don't really care. It's just $250,000 that we're going to give to a park to do some rehabilitation. Well, here's what my thought about that. I says, why don't you just pay the $250,000 in taxes? And Bliss Construction says, we'll do whatever you want us to do. So this is the point. What are we asking for? How are we doing this? Like, are anybody, and I got up and I told them, I am here for the residents. You can't have it both ways. You can't have an 11.4% tax increase and not question when you're going to give an abatement. You can't do it. So that's my job. That's what the town representative should be doing.
Why do they need a new restroom at Westwood?
Well, the whole point is they've already had this thing planned out. So now all of a sudden they need a restroom for their plans, which we haven't seen.
There's already a restroom in the clubhouse.
That's right. So I don't understand it because nobody understands what's happening because they're being very secretive about this. So my point is, what's the timeline? How long have you been talking about this? Once again, a lack of transparency. This is why people are questioning what they've done over the last 8 years, because everything's in secret. You don't come out and say it. And in my mind, it's like I went to a board meeting this morning to figure it out. Because let me tell you something. Bliss was very accommodating. They did a nice job. It was approved, right? They got what they wanted. But the point is that I can now go and tell the people that I'm speaking to what's exactly happening and why.
Because there's been no public hearings on this.
Well, that was the first one for the IDA meeting, but I'm sure there were public hearings with regard to this project. But here's the point. The project was already approved, and then they went for IDA funding. Okay, now, I get it. But I told this to Bliss and Sean Hopkins, the attorney. Your biggest problem is you need to get out and educate people about what you're doing. And Sean says, I'll talk to anybody doing it. I says, well, here's my suggestion to you, Sean. Put some articles together. Get it out there. Let people know what you're doing. The responsibility for you to get something from the town of Amherst is that you need to inform them. Because the population doesn't know it, because this administration doesn't tell them anything.
Right.
So that's our job. That's our job.
It'd be great to read about it in the Amherst Speak.
Exactly right. And for me, this is simple. People ask all the time how we're going to do it. People ask, what are you going to do? And it's really simple, Don. If we get out in front of every issue that's out there, we're ahead of the game. We've won. Because nobody can say that we don't know about it. And now, as we talk about you being the face of Amherst, you can get out there and say that. There was an IDA meeting, and we talked about this, and this is what's going on. People need information. And today, information has never been easier to get out than it is today. Through these podcasts, through everything that we're talking about. So our approach by revamping the town website and getting people to have easier access, all of this stuff will get us to the place that we want to be.
Why did the current administration give that tax break to the Red Roof Inn?
Well, I don't know. I mean, but what's interesting about the Red Roof Inn is there's a couple things. First and foremost, the Red Roof Inn went for an Article 7 to bring their tax assessment down. They're paying they won, and they're paying $30,000 less a year in taxes. Really? So now, the odd part about this is that, what about my business? What about other businesses? Where did the money go from these assessments? Who got the biggest tax breaks from the assessments is the question.
Well, kind of ironic. The Red Roof Inn had full occupancy because they were housing the illegal immigrants.
That's right.
At the Red Roof Inn off of Maple Road there by Millersport. And Amherst police have not done a great job telling the public how many times they were called there for criminal acts or alleged criminal acts. It was kind of like, don't bring it to the public's attention.
Right. And well, to that point, because one of the things we need to talk about today is that you say this. I believe that the police blotter in the Amherst Bee is a great thing, but because you're going to be out there, you're going to be able to give statistics prior to that. People will be able to get that, and maybe that's part of the segment that you do when you're posting these things. Is like, hey, today, this is the current crime statistics. We need to get that information out because you're right. Because you know that 100 cars have been stolen in Amherst over the last 6 months.
Incredible.
It's like, do people know that? What are we doing about it? And the answer I got from the town was, oh, this is happening across the country. Well, not that I don't care about what's happening in the country, but I care about what's happening in Amherst. And what are we doing about it? We need more police officers. We have to get more police officers. That is the most important thing that we could do. Because, number one, are these police officers going out there? Are they in harm's way? Is there enough of them? And we can talk about Music on Main too. Music on Main is such a wonderful thing. Everything's so great about it.
Vibrant.
But we need to have foot patrols out there. They gotta walk because sometimes it gets a little unruly. I had a resident come to coffee with candidates on Sundays that I have, right? And she brought it up. She brought up that it gets unruly over there. And I told her, we've got to get police officers to walk the streets because as soon as somebody does something wrong, we write them up, they won't be coming around. People won't, if they see that there's a police presence, trust me, it's enough to deter it. I don't want to stop Music on Main.
No, it's great.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We want more things like this, right? We want to encourage that. So the police is public safety, and this is one of the responsibilities that we have as elected officials. We need to make sure that we're out there, and what we're doing is we have enough police officers. We deploy them using data, the most current data that we can to make sure that they get what they need. And we have to make sure that we're pushing this narrative. We have to make sure that they're compensated like other police officers are. And we have to understand how important their job is to us. Most residents know this. But hiding behind not giving us these statistics is not the answer. Gotta come out, gotta say it. What are you doing about it? Are you talking to the police? Get the police chief at the town board meetings to talk to us about what they're doing. It's exactly like what happened today at the AIDA. You don't know anything about Bliss Construction. Nobody does. They may be a phenomenal developer. They may be great. They may be meeting their obligations. They're going to put $10 million in this project. They may be wonderful. People have the right to know that they're good. That's a good company. And we want more of Bliss, right? That's the point. The same thing. Bring these people to town board. Bring the department heads to the town board meeting. Let them talk. When people are asking about potholes, right? This is what they don't do.
So the department heads don't show up at the town board meetings?
No. And I don't know why, but we're going to make this different. We're going to revamp the whole process. We're going to make this better for the residents. We're going to include Zoom. We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to have complaint forms online. They're going to get their agenda sooner. We're going to do things so people have plenty of time to voice their concerns about what's going on. Again, I don't understand it. I don't understand why we don't do this. In my business,
It's kind of restoring common sense.
right, right. In my business, it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, Republican, conservative, independent, blank. I want you all. I make the same type of pizza for all of you. Right? Right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. People need to be treated with respect. And the only way to respect people is giving them information. When you stop the information flow, you've lost respect. And my grandfather always told me, if you have respect, you have everything. And he's right. He was right. He was right. Also, I want to talk about something else. Big news. Big news. Costco is a definite.
Finally,
Yes, after so many years.
13 acres.
13 acres.
We can debate the location.
And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But, you know, they paid $6 million for 13 acres. And they paid it to Benderson. Good for Benderson, right? They've done well, I'm sure. But I want to say something. We own some other properties that we're trying to sell. Gun Club. We paid $5.7 million for it.
This is the Maple Road Gun Club.
Yes. And we paid $5.7 million for it. Okay. We took that out of the general fund, by the way. And they had a deal together with the UBMD. UBMD had a handshake deal with Brian Culpa and Lavin that they were going to purchase it for $7 million. Not a bad little profit, right? Okay. Now that was supposed to happen the first quarter of this year.
Nada.
It didn't happen. So now we're coming towards the end of the year. And we've heard nothing about it. Who's buying what? There's no signed agreements. And we now have to put our bonding request in by October. So now if we don't sell it,
It's a spam call.
that's okay. That's all right. If we don't sell it by October, which it doesn't look like we aren't, we now have to go and bond that money. But here's my question. $6 million over 13 acres of property amounts to over $300,000 an acre. Are we going to get $300,000 an acre?
Doesn't look like it, does
Yeah.
it?
Are we going to get $300,000 an acre?
And why they put the baseball diamonds there?
They had to move them.
They did.
They had to move them because they had to move it because they were kicked out where they were before, and they had to do that.
Well, that land should be developed, and it should be a no-brainer.
Well, we talked about that. When we talk about Westwood, we talk about that all the time. You know, when you look at Westwood and you look at the whole Central Park thing, which this is Amherst Central Park, where Westwood is, it goes all the way to Autobahn. All right. Well, Autobahn's much more attractive to put a park in and develop than Westwood is.
I agree.
So keep Westwood as the
Golf course for the
Golf course.
for the town.
for the town. Or if we can get a developer to come in and take it over as a tax base, that's our first obligation, like we talked about. But when you're talking about this stuff, it's important that you kind of look at the bigger picture. And you know, this administration had big ideas. They really did. Big ideas with the Amherst Central Park, big ideas with Station 12, big ideas with Boulevard Mall. They had all these great plans. Costco, they had all these great plans. Unfortunately, what they didn't realize is that we're a town, we're not a city. And we don't have enough money for all these big, grandiose plans. And what they didn't expect to happen was COVID, which kind of put everything down to reality check and who we are and what we are. And that's the problem that we face today. They started all these projects and nothing's finished. And isn't it amazing that you're hearing about Westwood and a couple people going into Station 12 and all this stuff is happening? It's like, okay, why now? Why is this happening today?
Election year?
That's right. And look, people are not, there is such a definitive difference between Sean Lavin and myself. Sean Lavin has been a career county employee. He's been in the public his entire life. And I've worked.
He's been in the public sector, you've been in the private sector.
Right. And I've worked in the private sector my entire life. government, corporate America, small business, and on the board for Independent Health. We are so different in our approach. Sean mentioned on Beamer last week that we're not here to make money. Now, with that thought means that then it's okay to spend money because you've went from 117 million to 194 million dollar in bonding that we have to pay back. But we do make revenue. So he's incorrect. We make revenue. And it should be our responsibility to try to keep extra revenue in our bank account when we need it. So we shouldn't be spending everything we make. This philosophy that we got to spend everything we make because then we get more. I don't know if you've noticed, but things are going to dry up.
Let's talk about the Boulevard Mall.
Okay.
Doug Jamal washed his hands of it. He is the biggest savior to the city of Buffalo and Western New York with the buildings that he has bought and the contribution he's made to the Buffalo Naval Park in restoring the USS Sullivan. And he's just had such a positive influence. And this is the first time he says Kalpa and the Amherst Town Board couldn't cut the red tape fast enough. And he says, who needs it? They didn't move.
You want to know what really upsets me about this? Really upsets me that when they wanted Doug Jamal, Brian Kalpa reached out to him, gave him all these grandiose plans, pulled him, lured him in. Now all of a sudden when Brian Kalpa and Lavin can't finish what they started because they were ill-advised and didn't understand what they were doing, now all of a sudden they're attacking him and trying to make him look like he's the bad guy. I told you this before. There's not many Doug Jamals.
Amen.
And here's another thing. He's having a tough time. Every developer's having a tough time. It's not just him.
Well, the high interest rates.
That's right. But here's the point. You turn your back on somebody that you went and you approached and you did it. This goes to show you about character.
That's exactly it.
This is about character. You don't turn your back on somebody like that. You work with them. Now, I've told you this before. I've sent a couple people there, and hopefully we're going to have a good announcement before this election. But the point of this is you don't turn your back on somebody who came to your rescue, who bought this parcel of property, who he's asked everybody to leave, waiting for you to finish what you started. And you couldn't, because you couldn't go and bond that money. Because how are you going to go ask the residents of Amherst to take out more money to purchase something that you couldn't finish in the beginning? Eminent domain's a very tricky thing. You have to buy the property for fair market rate, but you also have to pay for the amount of dollars that the companies are losing by getting them out of there. So, did you think about it? Did you discuss this?
A lot of ramifications there.
Exactly right. And you know, Don, this is why there's such a distinct difference between Sean and I. As a business person, as an entrepreneur, my life is based on all these types of things every day. I go out and I shop my insurances. I shop my food costs. I shop all that. As in corporate America, I was responsible for a budget. I had to make sure that we adhered to it. In government, I was responsible to make sure that people got what they wanted. On the board of Independent Health, they're responsible for 294,000 people. I'm on the Finance and Audit Committee. We know where syringes go. Okay? So the point is that prior to this, they lost $130 million. In 1 year, we were able to reduce that to $60 million because they did the hard work. No overspending. They went in and they did audits on everything. They came to a point where they needed to. This distinction between Sean and I is so prevalent in today's race. People have a very clear choice. You can either go this way or that way. And I am confident that people want to see a change. So we are accountable for what we do. This is like simple stuff to me because I live it every day. Sean doesn't. Sean doesn't understand that. Sean doesn't understand you have to make the pizza the same for everybody, regardless of your party affiliation.
And they don't reveal much to the public.
Well, that to me just ludicrous. Why wouldn't you say it? Come out and say it. If you have nothing to hide, give us the information.
Right.
Do you know how much work? Like the ACC does, the Amherst Concerned Citizen Group, and people have to foil all this information.
Freedom of Information Act.
Right, right. But they have to do this. But why do you have to? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to do this? So I'm just a big proponent that this election is more about where we go and how we go. You know, like where do you want to see how this town is going to look in 4 years? What do you want? My expectations are simple. It's not going to be easy. We're going to have to buckle up. We're going to have to make sure that we look at everything, and we're going to be fair, because that's how my business is. I have to be fair. You have to look at everybody. And when I talk about looking at the positions that were added, they may all be worthwhile positions. And obviously, I wouldn't get rid of it. I have to see if there's any kind of duplications of services. If there is, we make adjustments. We're going to go and we're going to do line-by-line budgeting. We're going to understand that. We're going to get a central purchasing department. We're going to do things that make sense, because it's going to be tough, but people are going to know that, and they're going to know what we're doing and how we're doing it. I think the world of everybody out there. I think that they're great people, but people need to realize that we live here. What are we giving our children and grandchildren?
A lot of debt.
Right. Well, at $194 million, we pay back $500 million. We say this all the time. $500 million with a B. And we have $100 million. We're responsible. It's $100 million corporation. That's what this is. You know, this is $100 million business. And all we have to do is just, you know, the outcome's different. Corporations are out to make money. Government's out to service the residents. But we have to be frugal. We have to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Have you uncovered much waste when you look at the town budget?
First and foremost, I met with the controller, and I have a budget group that's looked at this. And one of the questions I asked the controller was, why do you have 35 codes that are not recognized by the state of New York? And
Really?
She answered my question. She told me why. She goes, because we have so many different projects. It's easier for us to pull it out, be able to say that this project's here and this project's here, because it comes out of the general fund, and they do their magic on how they do it. So to me, I think that that's where you start. How are these projects doing? Has everybody adhered to their obligations? Things like that. You also look and see, like I said, you look at each department and say, let's look about efficiencies. What are you doing? When's the last time that you had somebody come in and look at your department and say, maybe if you did it this way, it would save us some money, or things like that. And there are people out there who are willing to do this for nothing. Smart people who live in Amherst who just want to see it get back on track. So I think that that's where we start. We go after that. We hit it hard. And one thing that will not happen is we will not have on-the-job training. We're doing it now. We're acting like we already have these positions. We've assembled a team. We have all kinds of teams. We have research teams. We have budget teams. We have our campaign teams. We have all these different teams out there that are doing specific things for us. So when we start, we hit the ground running, and we know that we're doing a lot.
Well, I think the people are going to find you a breath of fresh air.
You know, Don, and look, I think you and I know each other well enough that we need to answer the hard questions. When you were doing what you did, you had to ask the hard questions. Why? Because you have to make people accountable for this.
Absolutely.
And this election is going to be about the hard questions, the hard answers, and the hard solutions.
And the right answers.
Right. And I told Sean Lavin when I met him early on in this process that this is not going to be disrespectful. It's going to be a very good campaign as far as I'm not going to malign you or attack you personally. It's not going to be that. But I am going to come after you about facts. So know that. And I was honest with them, because to me, it's like I can see what Sean has done. I can see it. This man never has voted against Brian Culpa in 8 years. Never once.
And I think he should defend why he voted the way he did.
Of course he did. Of course he should. Of course he should. And he might come out and say, we had to do that. We had to raise our taxes 11.4%. He might have to, and I'm sure he will. But I think it has been a culmination of things that have occurred that made you have to do that because you made mistakes. Now, do you know, I don't think we said this the last time, do you know that the Amherst Central Park corridor that we're talking about, $20 million has been spent. 20 million, including the $7.8 million for Westwood. $20 million. For what? There's nothing. There's nothing for $20 million.
That's incredible.
Nothing for $20 million. Now, okay. Good idea, right? But you don't have the right people negotiating. You don't have a business savvy mentality. You're not talking to the people and you're not saying, this is what we expect, this is what we want, this is what we have to have. And if they did do that, they failed miserably.
Amen.
So that's easy to see, very easy to see, especially of all the projects that have not finished.
Well, again, I don't think the residents are aware of the $20 million that was spent on that corridor.
That's right. They haven't. And this came from my research group. They went out and said, by the way, this is what's happening. So now you sit there and you look at it and you think to yourself, okay, 20 million bucks. Now I want to know how much money we spent on the eminent domain process at Boulevard Mall. I want to know, right? I want to know how much we've expended on everything now. Because if these are questionable, what about the little things? And let me tell you what I mean by that. When I was talking to the comptroller, if one bid comes in, department heads can process $5,000 and under. Okay? Anything over $20,000, they have to go get approved.
By the town board.
By the town board, they have to get it approved. But here's the funny part. Do you know that if only one bid comes through, they accept it? Even over $20,000, they accept it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Now, I want to look at the people who are bidding our projects. I want to know who they are. I want to know how open of a process is this? How many new people come on each year? How many new construction people come on? How many new appraisers? How many new, whatever. I want to know how you go about getting companies in to keep those other companies honest. Right?
Makes sense.
Right. So here's a funny story. You know, where they're building a bathroom at Paradise Park. Great idea. Paradise Park's really busy. They need a bathroom. I think it's a good idea. I may not spend that money because of the tax issue and other things like sewers and flooding that needs to be taken care of. But well, let's go with it because they got a grant to get some of this money back. All right, $650,000 to build this 1,200 square foot building. That's probably 500 feet from the road. So here's what I did. I had 3 of my friends go out and take a look that do construction and ask them, give me a price. And I want you to build the Taj Mahal of bathrooms. I want it to be everything. They go, okay. Half the price.
Really?
Half the price.
Is it a done deal?
Oh, it's done. It's over.
Who's going to build it?
I don't know who has the contract, but all I'm saying to you is, now, I might be missing something here. I might be missing something. So I just need to, these are the questions I need to have answered. How do we pay $650,000 for a 1,200 square foot building? I can build a house for $650,000.
With a bathroom.
With a bathroom. But I could do that, right? I could do that. So to me, those are the questions I want to ask. Now, they may have legitimate answers for it. I'm sure they do. But it's the inference. It's the idea that doesn't make sense when I can build a house for $650,000. Something, and here's the point. If everything's okay, then we need to look at what's happening. That it costs $650,000.
Well, again, common sense.
Yes.
And I think that's what's missing. That and transparency.
Right. And I also think, I talked about this the other night in the presentation. The most important aspect for me is respect. We need to respect the residents. Now, I'm not a fool enough to sit here and tell you that the residents are not going to disagree with some of the things I'm going to do. I'm not saying that because I'm sure they will. But it's how you handle them. It's how you handle people and what you believe and how you believe in these things.
I think if you explain your reasoning,
Sure.
that people say, okay, I get it.
Right.
But it's because all of a sudden you're $650,000 for a bathroom in a park?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right. And look, there might be logical answers for all this. Okay? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that there is. But to your point, we don't have the information that we need to put the resident's mind at ease. That is our job. Our job is to make it to feel that we are at ease.
And justification.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't, and I don't know, and look, I've learned an awful lot. I've taken a budget course on municipal budgeting because I want to understand it. I did that because I wanted to understand it more. What's the difference between what I do and what they do? But I did that because you want to be intelligent, but you also want to be able to understand what they're saying to you. Like what's an A fund and all. You want to understand what it all means because you have to. That's your job. I just think that a savvy approach to operating government comes from being inquisitive, understanding that you have to look at various companies, various ways of doing things, and you have to change it up. You have to be able to look at something. Like, we don't have a central purchasing department. We don't have a central person. Everybody does their own purchasing.
And who's accountable for that?
Right. And then I asked about P&Ls, profit and loss, right? Statements every month. Controller was wonderful. What a nice person she was. And she says, well, I give them the expenses and revenues that we've taken in, but they're not accurate because I don't always get all the information from the department heads.
Wow.
And I says, why is that? Well, they give them to me when they can and stuff. I says, and you ask them for them? Oh yeah, we ask them for them. Well, guess what? You will get them in. You will do that. And why? Because it matters. It matters to know that we've got this many expenses, right? This is the lackadaisical approach that you have to wipe out. And that comes from this. And I'm not saying that anybody's wrong. And I want to make that clear. I think the department heads are doing an admirable job and everybody that works there. I'm talking about making them understand why it's important. Making sure that they know why getting those bills in are absolutely critical to the operation of this town. And if we can make efficiencies occur that, we might save 10%, or we might save 100%. Who knows? The point is that
We don't know.
that's right. Education. Talk to people about why you're doing it, and make them part of it. Like I told you at the presentation, we're going to start with talking to the rank and file. I'm going to go talk to the people that are working out there. I'm going to go talk to those people that are in the offices and ask them how your job is. What are you doing? How hard is it? I want to know from them, because guess what? They're the ones that are most important. Then you talk to the managers. Then you talk to the department heads. Because once you understand what they're going through, then you can have a better understanding and how to talk to the managers and the department heads. Because then you can say, well, they're saying this is happening. What are you doing about that? How are we handling this? How are we making their jobs better? Because it all rolls from the top down.
Absolutely.
So that's how you build an organization. I'll take Devolio. When I want to know something's going on, I go ask the cook. I go ask the bartender. When I was in small business, when I was in corporate America, I asked the people in the field. When I was in government, I asked the people in the field. I asked them first because they know more. They know more because they're out there doing it every day. And if you have a good workforce, if they're happy about what they're doing, obviously they'll give you better. They'll give you more. So it's the same philosophy. You must engage, but not with just the top guys and gals. It's the bottom guys, the guys who are out there getting their hands dirty.
Right.
Those are the people that matter. So, and I come from that. My father was a union guy. My brother is a union guy right now. They're out there breaking their butts, doing everything that they possibly can And, I get it. I get it. Every day this is how we wake up and this is what we do every day.
52 years I was a member of a union. After.
Okay?
And NABET, National Association of Broadcasting Engineers and Technicians. Some people in management would say they stand for promoting mediocrity, and others would say no, they protect the working people. And in today's private sector environment, there's all kinds of cutbacks going on out there, and there's not much wasted spending. Every penny is accounted for, and there's a desire to get more and more revenue, which is, I don't think making a profit is a greedy word. That's why you're in business. But I think in a town government, you have to be accountable for what you're spending.
Of course, of course. And look, you've never done a financial, you've never looked at the financial, you've never done an audit in the departments or an efficiency audit? What if we're duplicating services from the department next to you, right? I mean, these are just simple things. These are just simple business 101.
Well, you would think that the department heads would go to one person for purchasing. Yeah.
Of course. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but we're going to do it, right? Look, Don, change is hard. Change is hard. But once again, the philosophy for me is real simple. You educate, you inform, you have a plan, you move with the plan. If you miss the mark, you go back and you find out where you made a mistake and you continue down that path. These are logical things to do. These are not outrageous things like paying $34 million for lights. That's outrageous. That's just crazy. It's not that. I'll tell you what, I'll bond money knowing I can make our town more efficient. I'll absolutely do that, right? Or I'll take money out of general fund to do that, but I won't go and do something like $34 million for lights when you're going to ask people to give you an 11.4% increase. I won't do it.
Crazy.
I won't do it. And I would explain to them why I'm not going to do it.
Well, common sense.
That's right. That's right. And you know this in your job that you did for 52 years. When you're talking to people, there's a way of talking to people, right? There's a way to get people to be engaged in what you're saying. I met with a couple people yesterday, and we were talking about the campaign, and they were people that are going to help me with my campaign. And at the end of it, they're just saying, this is infectious. This is like I just love to hear this because it's such a welcome approach. I don't know any different because this is what I do every day in my life, right? So I think that the reason why this has become so personal to me now is that since I've been doing it, I feel it. Like I feel like these are the right things to do. I feel like this approach matters because I'm not being Pollyanna here either. I'm not saying that it's going to be all roses.
Oh, no.
But I do think that
change for the better.
That's right. I really believe that. And I'm just fortunate. I'm very lucky because I had a great support system. I got a great wife. I got a great business. I got great people working for me. They're wonderful. And they're picking up the load because this is going to be something when I win in November that I'm going to do. So they've been doing this for the last year. So I want to take those same things and apply them to this.
So this was the motivating factor that made you decide to run?
I was out with a bunch of friends, and my background is I have a public administration master's and I have a poli-sci bachelor. So I love politics. My family loves politics. We always argue about it. It's great stuff. So we were out with a bunch of friends, and at the end of the night, they started talking about politics. Give me a stage, and I'm going to tell you what I feel. Right? So I did. So I started saying what I had to say and do what I had to do. And at the end of the night, so my friends go, "You should run." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." The wine. It's the wine talking. So the next morning, my wife, Stacy, came up and she said to me, she goes, "I want to talk to you. I really want to talk to you." I said, "Okay." She goes, "You have to run. You have to do this." I said, "Run for what?" And she goes, "You have to run for supervisor, Dan. This is something you should do. You're at the time in your life to do this. You got the time. You can make this thing happen." Don, and anybody that does this that doesn't have the support of their family, you're missing something. because she's been a wonderful asset. She's smart. She knows what she's doing, and she's behind me 100%. So it's made this so much more of a rewarding experience for me.
And look at all the people you've met
Oh,
by going door to door.
yes, and I've met some great friends. Yourself, like I've met some people who I will have friends for the rest of my life because they've been so wonderful about it. And to the people that I've met door to door, even the ones that are not voting for me, it's been wonderful to talk to them. They've got great opinions. I've only had 3 people out of 8,600 homes. I've only had 3 people who just said, I won't vote for you. I won't vote for Republican. I won't do that. I mean, 3 people. And that's it. And I am speaking to almost 40% of the people that I go out to talk to. So I think those are good statistics. I think those are great. And if I want this job, I need to talk to as many people. So let me tell you my plan. My plan is this. I've got 8,600 under my belt right now. I'm going to get to 15,000.
15,000 homes.
Yes. Now, in the last couple elections, about 30,000 people vote in off-year elections. Now, I hope it's more this year. I hope we get a lot of people out there. I hope we have 45,000 people out there. But this has been the average of people that go out and vote. So my thought was, I need to go to half of the amount of people that vote. Because nobody can do it all. It's impossible. But I got a real good rhythm going. Got some great people driving me, doing all the stuff. So I believe that I have to see this many people because if I want the job bad enough, I need to go and talk to as many people possible. So the realistic part of this is I can get to 15,000.
Well, I've had people come up to me and say, I was amazed that Dan came and knocked on my door and we talked. And he told me what his plan is to improve the quality of life for the people of Amherst.
That's fantastic. That's great. I mean, and everybody that I don't talk to, I write them a note. Sorry I missed you. My number's on the back. Call me. That type of thing. Don, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. First of all, you get to see all of Amherst. I can't believe how big it is, right?
It's a big town.
I can't believe how many pockets there are and how many different things you see out there. I can't believe we have places that have 4 acres of land. And I can't believe that, you have other places that, have all of these townhomes, and it's incredible to see it all. And then you become very humbled by this because you know that you're responsible for all these people, right? Then you realize how important it is to build that staff, that support team around you, that you can't do this by yourself.
No, you need good department heads.
You need good department heads. You need good researchers. You need all these people running down the same, straightening the ship, making the ship go in the same direction. So there's a lot to it. But you know something? I'm ready. I know I'm supposed to be here doing this at this time in my life. I know it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, thanks for today.
My pleasure, as always.
Until the next one.
I think, Dan, that you have so many great ideas. When you gave the presentation, the slide presentation, I wish everyone could have seen it. You had 4 slides. You identified some of the problems in the town. You also came up with solutions, positive solutions. And that's what I really like about your campaign. It's very positive. And all you're trying to seek is common sense and common answers as to why things are the way they are.
And I think that we need a change. That's my personal opinion. I think we need a change.
Oh, I agree.
I think that, this is why you have term limits, right? This is why you have term limits. You let people come in, you see what they can do, and then the next group comes in and they can see what they can do, right? And then hopefully you meld together. You come up with this wonderful situation that people like, oh, okay, we're moving ahead. That's the point. That's the point. And I want to say one thing before we leave. I'm not looking for the next job. This is the job.
You already have the job.
Right. Yeah, but
now you have the mission.
That's right. Right. And I'm not looking for my next political step. Okay, this is where I want to end up. This is what I want to do. Right? I think, and I'm excited, and I really want to win it. I really want to win it. And I feel great about it. I feel like we're making inroads like you can't believe. And there's an undercurrent. Like you said, there's a swelling. People are talking about it. They're out there. They're like engaged. a C, an I, doesn't matter, or a B, doesn't matter.
What's a B?
Blank.
A blank is actually an independent, right? They're not
Well, yeah,
registered.
that's right. That's right. They just don't register to any party. And here's statistics. 36,000 Democrats, 23,000 Republicans, and 21,000 blanks.
I was a blank for 52 years because I didn't want to have any bias in my reporting. But
Smart.
yeah, I want to be able to vote for you, so I registered.
It's nice. Look, converting you was like the biggest thing. So that's good. That's why you need to be. I say this all the time, and I mean this with a lot of respect. We need to have a face of Amherst, and what I mean by that is pretty simple. You've been doing this for 52 years. We need to have somebody, and you're obviously respected in the community. People know who you are. You should be telling us the news in Amherst. This is a really simple thing. Why? Because nobody's doing it. The Bee is the only place that people are getting information from. And don't get me wrong, I like the Bee. Amy's done a great job.
I like it too.
It's a great thing. But could you imagine having our own channel, our own thing, our own idea? Like people can literally look up and look, I'm going to this channel. I want to see what's happening in Amherst today. And whether it be about what's happening in the village or what's happening outside or there's a festival, I don't care. The point is that we need to be talking about what people want and need to have as information. And that is why you can't be afraid to be giving this information out. Why? Why would you be afraid of that? So we got a lot of good ideas.
Stay tuned.
Until next time.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Dan.